At the age of 14, everything changed for me. My parents died a horrible death. Some sickness no one knew the cure to. That single moment completely changed my life. My name is Archie. I am a healer. I grew up in Farwater. As soon as my parents died, I knew I wanted to help people, to cure their illnesses. I couldn't afford to go off and study, so I worked as an apprentice for Tom Vick, the healer in Farwater. One day, Lord Asher Colta sent word out that he needed every able-bodied man to fight in battle, something we now know as the Ogre War. Tom Vick wanted to go to heal the wounded. He was too old and frail, however, to make the journey. I told him to stay, and that I would take his place. I gathered up my medicines and notes and made the journey with the other warriors. I spent my whole life living with these people. I spent most of the journey there talking to Basil and Cal. Basil was the baker. The only family he had was his dear old mother. She's been ill most of her life. He's the only one who looks after her, so he never spent time starting a family of his own. He disappeared in the Ogreland. No one saw him again. As for Cal, he was part of the village guards, wife and children. He was injured while fighting. He was struck by an arrow that was meant for an ogre. They brought him to me. I did the best I could, but the damage could not be undone. The later part of the war, I had to go into the fighting to heal the wounded as they got slain, running from body to body, lying in the dirt, trying to find those who could still be saved. The beginning of the war, I spent my time in the camps healing the wounded. I didn't even have to go into harm's way. I thought I would have been safe, but I was wrong. That's where I saw unimaginable horrors. There are 3 that still stay with me to this day. An overweight man laying on a bed. I didn't think anyone could become that big. Turns out he was poisoned, and it swelled up to his size. The second was an old man who looked like a skeleton, with skin draped over his bone. He looked like death himself. The final one, which still haunts me to this day, a strong man, thick muscles, the perfect image of what a warrior should be. He was on a sickbed, crying into a child's stuffed toy in the shape of a cat. He must have brought it with him. I don't know what happened to him to be like that. A question we'll never get the answer to. Not knowing just makes it much worse. They might not seem like much, but they're enough to keep me awake at night. My mind tormented. When I finally returned to Farwater, all I saw were the ghosts of the people we lost. 300 departed all those years ago. Only a few dozen returned. A lot of them were good men. Men who had families that depended on them. I had no one. I wish I could have died instead of them. I couldn't move on. My mind was always somewhere else. I needed to get away. A brand new start. Tom Vick was still alive, so Farwater could have a healer. I think I'll move to Saxondale. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. This was performed by me, Aiden Malone.